A brand new flashback arc is on its way to enter the realm of Two Blue Vortex, and surprisingly, it could mimic an iconic event from the Naruto series that would answer a lot of questions. The return of Momoshiki, the fear of the Karma Seal, the destiny of Kashin Koji, and whatnot. All these mysteries will receive a satisfying conclusion once we would get to know more about the missing time skip period. The reason I think so is because some very obvious similarities are being drawn between the legacies of Naruto and Boruto. Both have been trained by a Toad Sage and have been cursed with an uncontrollable monster. There once came a time during the training of Naruto and Jiraiya when the Kyuubi got unleashed and the Sannin got his chest scarred in an attempt to handle him. Something similar might go down with Kashin Koji, as a very similar beast dwells within the conscience of Boruto. He won't leave a stone unturned to make his vessel despire, so assuming he must have attacked Kashin Koji is a really huge possibility, especially because Boruto has developed a strong fear of the seal, which energizes the DNA of the Otsutsuki within him. The reaction of Boruto towards the thing that he earlier thought would master easily is not normal. Just before the time skip, he was certain to control Momoshiki's power more efficiently, but still the monster managed to make one appearance, which indirectly led to the omnipotence incident. This means Boruto losing control was still a thing, and this shocking reaction proves that he wasn't able to do something about it. He ended up developing a karma phobia, which makes him leave the battlefield to prevent things from going worse. This proves that Momoshiki is an even bigger danger as compared to the Shinjus. The new antagonist gang is only after certain people for instinctual reasons, but Momoshiki deliberately wants to make Boruto's life worse in any way possible. One of the reasons his emergence would be so deadly is due to the fact that his vessel has trained a lot to get more powerful than ever. Momoshiki controlling Boruto would easily give him access to abilities such as the Uzuhiko, Flying Thunder God, the Lightning Style, and whatnot. He would be able to fuse his Otsutsuki experience in utilizing the most powerful vessel known to the clan, and this deadly combination is what could trigger the worst possible future. Apart from this, a small detail that might or might not be a reason for Boruto's humongous fear has something to do with his blue eye, specifically the one that he lost to Kawaki, meaning that his right eye socket is usable to Momoshiki's Byakugan only. I think the only way for Boruto to stop the possession of the monster was by opening his right eye, once his body would regain the chakra or after Momoshiki gets tired. It can be seen in the Boruto fight, as after using a giant Rasengan, Momoshiki eventually lost the control of Boruto, and even when Kawaki used chakra flames which forced Borushiki to absorb them, had led to Boruto regaining his consciousness. Now since there is no eye in that socket, it could be a lot harder for him to gain back the consciousness. The best case scenario would be someone giving Momoshiki a tough fight, which would drain so much chakra that Boruto would eventually wake up, but considering he has the most powerful vessel in existence, it would be pretty hard to defeat him. This theory also adds up to the situation of the prologue scene, where Boruto activates the Jogan just to prevent Momoshiki from taking over. A detail that I think not many people have noticed is the karma on Boruto's hand being active before he energizes it on his face. The sole purpose of this karma must be to absorb and amplify attacks. This means he either had learned to use the seal skillfully before this fight, or more possibly he had just got rid of Momoshiki's possession moments ago, which is why the karma is still active on some parts of his body. Nevertheless, it's highly possible for Momoshiki to come back in a flashback sequence first, before popping up in the current events of the story. The main reason being the development of his critical thinking, as well as plans, which are meant to be a core part of the story. We need to know the motives of Momoshiki and what he is up to right now, along with all the factors of his transitional stage. I believe Momoshiki's mindset has been through a complete makeover for some interesting reasons. The failure of his major prediction has forced him to fulfill his prophecy by himself. It has become clear to him that no external situation can bring down the hope in Boruto's heart, which means his vessel will never give up on his conscience by himself. So Momoshiki's first decision after this must be to wait. He knew something big was about to come, so he just decided to calmly wait for the right moment. It was Boruto's training with Kashin Koji, something that made him a lot more stronger than his pre-time skip counterpart. Not to mention Sasuke had already taught him everything, so Momoshiki had won this jackpot of getting his vessel trained by the best shinobis of all time. And once he found the chance to take over Boruto during the time skip period, he hijacked his consciousness to reveal his new personality as well as plans. A few years of silence must have completely changed Momoshiki. He is no longer the believer in fate type of individual. Rather, he is more likely to take control of his destiny at this stage. And to prove that Momoshiki had went too far in his pursuit of ruining Boruto's life, he must have tried to attack Kashin Koji, leaving him with an iconic scar, something similar to the four-tail incident when Naruto was being trained by Jiraiya. This fateful encounter must have made Koji believe that the Otsutsuki within Boruto is actually a big deal. The whole obsession of Kawaki to get him killed had some solid basis. He wasn't jealous of Boruto, rather his intuition made undeniable sense. That's why even the other Kages were concerned about Naruto's helpless situation. They wanted him to get rid of his son by keeping his emotions and attachment aside. But Kawaki had also accepted his fate of being the murderer of the Hokage's son. He knew he would lose his right to be in the village as well as the love of Naruto. But ever since he had seen Momoshiki attempting to kill his godfather, a blindfold of madness made him forget everything just to get rid of Boruto. One of the things that I think the pre-time skip Boruto used to take lightly was being the medium of emergence for an ambitious monster. He did not realize how dangerous Momoshiki could be since he never witnessed his rampage firsthand. He was able to defeat Boro, a Kara-modified cyborg, in a matter of minutes, which means he possessed the capacity of waging a massacre. Boruto was being stupidly optimistic about Momoshiki since it wasn't like he would appear out of nowhere. The vessel needed to be low on chakra, which made Boruto believe that he can play a reverse card on him by using the monster's powers in his favor. But the first and last time when he tried to take advantage of his Otsutsuki powers after becoming an Otsutsuki himself, Momoshiki unexpectedly appeared to help out Kawaki. The reaction to the Karma activation makes it clear that Boruto is very conscious about the capability of Momoshiki, and while it's just a matter of time before he gets hold of the Otsutsuki powers, it's very likely that the foreshadowing of the worst possible future was not a warning about the Shinjus, rather it's a wake-up call for something even worse. And I think it's the return of Momoshiki. That's right, chances are Boruto is just predicting himself for whatever reasons, cause he knows he holds a world-ending monster who's out of his control. Now before you guys say he wouldn't have warned Code about the Grimes if the Shinjus were not the ones to destroy everything, hear me out. The reason Boruto warned Code was definitely not because he knew the Shinjus will destroy the planet. These beings at present are busy at fulfilling their personal goals, and none of their plans seem to interfere with Konoha or its people, until and unless they get into their way, but that's another topic. The situation of the Leaf from the future is more like the doing of some evil entity who went outrageous on everything, and the reason Boruto was worried about the Grimes and the Ten Tails is because the Shinjus are the only people who can defeat him, and if he somehow gets defeated by them, it would wake Momoshiki up, who will not only destroy these monsters but also everything which is dear to Boruto. I will give you an interesting aspect to understand why this makes so much sense, but before that, please make sure you are subscribed, as my future theories will be even more mind-blowing. If the Shinjus, for example, had consumed some Otsutsuki to trigger the apocalypse on the planet, it most likely wouldn't have destroyed the village like this. I think everything would have started to decompose gradually after the Ten Tails would prey on their target. But looking at the way everything has been destroyed, there is definitely a different story going out here. Moreover, if the Ten Tails apocalypse had actually happened, Boruto and Kawaki wouldn't be fighting like this, since the divine tree cultivation is known to drain the whole life out of a planet. And considering there is no other Otsutsuki whom Jura and his gang can prey upon, the whole Ten Tails sacrifice being the reason of future destruction is a theory full of flaws and faults. So whatever happened here was done by someone who was fully enraged as well as engaged in his endeavor. Kawaki pulling out Momoshiki by using resonance is a theory that I have discussed quite a few times, but today I will add something unique to it. I have already told you guys how the survival instincts of Boruto have enhanced since he became a full Otsutsuki. Before the evolution, he was ready to be killed, but after that incident, he was no longer ready to die. He made a bold claim of handling Momoshiki's power, but it seems like the odds were not in his favor. Apart from all that, there's one thing that Momoshiki had done to Kawaki, which proved to be a turning point in his life. Back to chapter 78, Momoshiki absorbed the Shadow Jutsu to help Kawaki escape. This indirectly led to omnipotence, as well as the farewell of Boruto from the village, and all of it went in favor of Kawaki. This was a favor that he couldn't return to the monster until the time when he would come on a common ground with him, the thing that is practiced by every Yosutsuki, something which makes them feel full of life. I'm talking about destruction. Kawaki would never let Momoshiki out until the time when he loses faith in the shinobi system. Once he starts to perceive the ninjas, their systems, and their ideologies as inferior, he would be willing to destroy everything and put the blame on Boruto. Not to mention, no one knows that there is a beast controlling the blue-eyed boy. Everyone who would witness Boruto destroying Konoha would see him as the most evil outsider to ever step in the village. In this way, Kawaki would indirectly be helping Momoshiki to take his revenge on Boruto alongside paying back the forgotten favor. But things would start to change once Boruto will activate the Jogan just to prevent Momoshiki from taking over again. And this would mark the beginning of the most awaited fight in Shonen. If you wanna know more about the secret sauce to Boruto's powers, check out the video on the right. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.